Hello friends, Archangel with Crypto Angel here. We are going to go over the June 20th, 2021 Shytoshi Roundup. As a reminder, this is a quick run through of the community relevant information from Shytoshi, and we've also added the lead developer Eric into this mix as well. I won't be adding a whole lot of commentary, if any. This is simply for those who don't have access to Discord or don't want to sort through the walls of text to find information. I'll also not be including responses where the original message was deleted or not retrievable, and if we can't figure out the context from the response, we won't post it either. So with that, here we go. Now, there was only one really relevant message from Shytoshi on June 20th. There was a lot of off-topic discussion, so if you want to go check out some off-topic banter, feel free, but we're not going to be including that in the Shytoshi roundups. So Woosley asked, just saw SS tutorial, what about auto compound? Will there be an option for that? Shytoshi responds, no, blockchain requires signatures for moves of your assets. And now we're going to get into comments from questions to and comments from Eric, the lead developer here. Hooligan asks, does anyone know if you will need gas fees to claim your rewards each week? I know you need gas to stake and unstake, but can't find the information about the claiming of rewards. So we'll scroll down here, and Eric says you need to pay gas for any transaction you do. I'm not sure if that answered Hooligan's question or not, but we'll roll with it. IO Animator says, Eric, should we pay attention to the AMA of this Tuesday with Surtec? Eric responds, I will. Nerdy asks, can you please elaborate further on this query? And this is in reference to the bone production per block. So Eric responds, 1,000 bone production per block, 90% dig, 5% bury, 5% dev wallet. From that 90% on dig, bones are distributed depending on the allocation points of each pair. From that 5% on bury, 3% goes for SHIB staking pool, 1% to leash staking pool, and 1% to bone staking pool. That's the current info. Now, I do want to bring your attention that in the version 1 of the Wolf paper, this leash staking pool was originally 0.5%. So that is something to note, and I did a video on that yesterday. If there's any major information in these, I'm going to try to do separate videos on those as they come up. But I also want to provide informational roundups from the previous day as well. So Bear asks, on Wolf paper it says 0.5% for leash staking. And Eric responds, because old code took into account our future token treat. But that changed as well as other details. You will have the updated information soon. Mshi asks, so treat is gone, and if it is, can you tell us what it was going to be? Eric responds, is not gone, but it's not participating right now on staking pool returns. BP says, didn't even realize cold storage wallets can be set up for receiving liquidity pool tokens. Eric responds, you can link cold wallets to MetaMask IE. BP says, okay, I see. I'm only used to my ledger's individual coin wallets like ETH and BTC. Thanks. Eric responds, as well as the wallet. I think this is as long as the wallet accepts ERC20 tokens, you're fine. Dreammaster says, a silly question from me. Why dig got large portion of bone production 90%, but bury just 10? Eric responds, because providing liquidity is the most important on a swap platform, and dig pools might face impermanent loss versus bury pools that have zero risk. We incentivize people to provide liquidity on the platform, and that's why they are awarded with bigger returns. This is a statement to a unloaded message from Eric, but it did have some useful information. Some cold wallets like Ledger don't have leash support on live Ledger. You can see SHIBs, parentheses, for not a long time ago, but leash is not appearing yet on the live view, but that doesn't mean they are not there. Any ERC20 is supported on Ledger, i.e., but if the token is new or has no support, you need to use My Ether Wallet, Trust, or even link to MetaMask, among others. At Dreammasker says, so among 3 pairs in the liquidity pool, Bone ETH gets the highest portion of bone production per block. Eric responds with these 3 pairs: Bone ETH, Leash ETH, and Shib ETH. Ororaz says, can I ask if I should wait 2 to 4 day when Leash is higher price before liquidity pools? I don't want to lose too much to impermanent loss. Eric responds, that's a personal decision. The early you enter liquidity pools, the less people there equals the more bone production per block and other returns you'll receive. You must set your strategy and consider if a potential IL impermanent loss is worth that movement or not. Buck asks, is the 66% lock for 6 months in respect of all pairs in the pool, i.e. Shib, Leash, Bone, ETH, WBTC, and USDC? Eric responds, time lock is applied to all the returns. IO Animator says, I have a question. When you dig Shib, for example, you get Bone. Are distributed with all those people doing the dig thing? And this is just asking about the potential returns and how those are distributed. So Eric responds, returns are just distributed to those who have joined the pools. Whether that's a staking pool or a dig pool, returns are just distributed to those who have the pools. Onyx says, how much risky is digging compared to burying? Eric says, burying has no risk, providing liquidity might face impermanent loss. And my comment here is, I would probably rephrase that as burying has no additional risk, but there are risks just from the inherency of crypto tokens and being on a swap, potential that the swap can be hacked and that kind of thing. But as far as compared to liquidity pools, burying has no additional risk. At Nerdy asks, do you recommend one should move his holding of Leash ETH on Uni V2 or wait for Shiba Swap to be released and then move the liquidity directly to Shiba Swap? Eric responds, if you already have liquidity on Uni, you just need to enter on the fetch tool on Shiba Swap and migrate it. It's just 2 clicks and the same as if you provide liquidity through Shiba Swap. But you'll be able to claim your Uni fees whenever you remove liquidity on Shiba Swap. Eric responded to a message that was deleted. If you want to dig, you need $1,000 in token and $1,000 in ETH, equal amounts. And this is just referring to how a pair is set up. Violent Portrait asks, why are we talking about BNB? I thought this was all ERC20 network. Don't hate me for the question. And Eric responds, BPB equals bone per block. Ramos asks, are staking rewards 10 times for the first 2 weeks only on digging? Eric responds, you don't have a direct 10 buy on dig or bury. Bone is minted at a 10 buy rate, so all the bones distributed are higher than after the liquidity event. And I think that's something that's really important to understand. The entire pool will be getting a 10 buy rate, but that doesn't mean you individually will be getting a 10 buy rate. Ramos states, thanks Eric, I was just a bit confused as the title is liquidity event and didn't mention staking. Eric responds, staking gets minted bones as well as liquidity pools. XDaddy says, can you explain more about bones are distributed depending on the allocation points of each pair? Some light on that, please. Eric says, yes, basically the higher the allocation points are, the higher the percentage are the returns received for that pair. Up and Away says, where to watch the Surtech audit AMA on Tuesday, as I have not seen where and what time. Eric responds, I guess they will release more info. Meaglock says, Will any of the current pairs to earn bone, will they change from Wolf 1.0 to 2.0, or should I wait? Eric responds, there's a couple of changes. XDaddy says, Eric, will the allocation points be described in Wolf v2? And Eric responds, v1 already has the allocation pairs. Nosrak says, so in permanent loss question, if I dig 1,000 token and $1,000 ETH, if leash doubles in price and I leave the liquidity pool, do I exit with less leash? And he expounds upon that question a little bit more, but you'll get the gist of it. And Eric responds, you might leave with $800 leash and $1,200 Ethereum as an example, depending on what will happen. And this is just covering the impermanent loss. So with that, I think we got a lot of good information from Eric here and from Shytoshi. With that, we will end this here. Archangel out.